So this is going to be the tricky part, where we're going to pick up the stitches to work the thumb. So you can see here, I'm trying to adjust the focus, but this stitch here is coming from the stitch right below it, right? So you're going to grab it through the right leg. So this is the right leg, this is the left leg right here. It makes a loop. So you're going to grab the right leg, that is stitch number 1. You're going to skip over the left leg, grab the right leg of the next one, skip over the left, it's number 3, number 4, and number 5. So now we've secured those 5 stitches. We're going to pull that through and we're going to turn the work around because we have to do the same thing for the top stitches. So here we have the half of the first stitch, or the last stitch rather. So we're going to grab the right leg of that one, the right leg of that one, 3, 4, and 5 over here. So you just put the cable on here, and either with your finger, sorry about that, or with your darning needle, just using the blunt tip, you're going to pull that scrap yarn through. You can also cut it, but you don't need to cut it. Then you can use the scrap yarn on your next thumb. And we're done. So now we have 5 and 5. We have 10 stitches, and you see the thumb opening here. It's going to be a large opening, but we'll fix that after. So see how nicely that fits? I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to bring the front stitches onto the needle here, and we're going to knit them with our main color. You'll have a little, make sure you leave a big enough end that you can weave it in after. So you just pinch it there behind you with your middle finger. So knit the first one, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now, we have kind of a large opening here, and we don't want that. So we want to close that up. So what we're going to do, here we're going to tuck in my end here so it's not in my way. I'm going to pull this through, get the other needle out of the way, and you're going to pick up, we have this stitch here, we're going to pick it up and we're going to put it on our other needle because we're going to use it, we're going to knit it. So you're picking it up through the front and see the right leg is in the front, and we're going to twist this stitch because we want it to be oriented this way. So we're going to knit it through the back, making sure you're tightening because you don't want a lot of yarn here left over. And we're just going to slip that in there so that it's with our first row. Then we're going to turn the mitten around. You have all your next stitches on there. We're going to work the 5. And we're now going to want to close up the gap on this side. So pull your needle through, sorry about that. And then so you have the stitch that we're using, the stitch that we're not using, And this is the beginning of your next row. So we're going to take this one, use your left hand needle, and you're going to grab it through the back. Make sure you don't split the yarn, because now we want the leg, the left leg, to be slanting upwards. So you're going to grab it through the back, so the right leg is in the back, left leg is in the front, and you're going to knit it nice and snug, and you're going to pull it so that it's with your back 5. The next row, because I don't want 12 stitches for my thumb, because it's going to be a huge thumb, I've just pulled the yarn snug behind me there. So I don't know what's going on here. Hang on a second. Here we go. So pull that yarn tight in the back. You're going to knit the first 4. Make sure that you're snug in here. Okay, so snug this up nice and tight. Gonna work the first 4. And this is the 5th stitch and the one that we made at the end of this needle. We're gonna knit those 2 together. Okay. So if you want to reach in there and just snug that first stitch, go for it. Turn the mitten around. Get those stitches back on the needle. Knit the first 4. And knit those 2 together. So the last 2. Alright, so now we are ready to work the thumb stitches. So you're going to work the same as you did before, working on the 5 instead of 10 on each needle. Turn it around. And just keep going until your thumb is pretty close to being done. So you have this little loose stitch here, but we're going to tuck this in later, and you won't be able to see that little hole. So you see the hole is very small here. We can snug that up a little bit later. Anyways, just continue until your thumb is the size that you want, and I'll show you what to do.